The famed Thursday night premier tailgate party for both the Ravens and the Steelers in the NFL, Cincinnati and Miami in college football. I'm Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com. We're not only going to have our famous news and notes with insider information, we'll also have your ATS trends. It's brought to you by Joe Duffy's Picks, the anchor of OffshoreInsiders.com. 27-15 in the NFL, going back to the preseason. Get the Thursday night football side. You also have up 5 college football winners led by the Pac-12 game of the year. Wait till you see the 90% angle. 90% in the history of our database, which goes back to the 1980s. On that Pac-12 game of the year. 3 Sunday NFL led by a wise guy play. And more is very likely coming. Yes, you buy it now. It's inclusive in the price. You can just, of course, access all the updates yourself. Pretty sure we're going to have a Monday Night Football wise guy play. So keep checking back to OffshoreInsiders.com. www.offshoreinsiders.com. Some of our news and notes for the Ravens and the Steelers. Of course, the big story here, if you've been under a rock, Ben Roethlisberger, star quarterback for the Steelers, is out. Mike Vick takes over. Now, how big of a loss is that? Roethlisberger off to one of his best starts. Completed 75% of his passes through the first 3 games. 95.7 total QPR. Through those first 2 games was the best in the NFL. Ravens off an emotional and tough loss to the Bengals, which late info went to 7-1 on the year, by the way, with that one. Teams as road favorites, off of consecutive losses as a favorite, though, are 10-5-1 since 2005. That would benefit the Ravens. Ravens' 3 losses, though, were by 14 points, and they believe they were, quote, 1 play away in each one of the games. However, remember, Baltimore is without Terrell Suggs for the rest of the year. Star linebacker. Ravens have allowed the 4th most passing yards. But now they do face Michael Vick. Now, Vick will have some weapons. Antonio Brown, one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. Baltimore has allowed 6 touchdown passes the last 2 weeks. Some people say with this short week, it is very tough for them to make adjustments for their bad pass defense. Steelers, of course, got Le'Veon Bell last week. He had 132 total yards and scored the only touchdown of the game. If Pittsburgh does rely more on the running game, not only is Bell back, but DeAngelo Williams, guy's got many yards in his years in the NFL, rushed for 204 yards in the first 2 games, while Bell served his 2-game suspension. He just had 1 carry for 2 yards last week, so look for him to be used on a short week. Of course, they also, Vic has tight end Heath Miller, one of the better ones to throw to, as a safety valve. Don't forget, college football, Cincinnati and Miami are coming up. Remember, please visit OffshoreInsiders.com if you play fantasy football. Click on the fantasy football link. You also can get the highest bonus that is allowed by one of the big websites. Go to OffshoreInsiders.com for details. Now, some ATS trends on the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game. Ravens are 14-5 against teams with a winning record, but they are 2-10 after allowing more than 350 total yards in their previous game. All these records are against the spread. Pittsburgh enters 7-1 overall. They are, though, 2-5 against teams with a losing record. Series has gone over 11-4. Some more over-under trends, by the way, for that. Baltimore has gone under 8-1 after getting more than 250 yards passing in their previous game. Yet they've gone over 5-6 against teams with a winning record, and over 15-5 on the road against teams with a winning home record. Pittsburgh has gone under 5-1 overall, over those 7-2-1 at home, under 6-2 on Thursday night games. Cincinnati and Miami. And again, the power of 620 sports services behind each and every play is the Master Lock Line. Get only the highest rated plays, only from the highest rated sports services in their highest rated sports. Going back to the Scorephone days, the Master Lock Line is now available 100% exclusively at OffshoreInsiders.com. Bearcats do rank 22nd nationally in points at 40.3 per game. Miami is tied for 16th at 41.7. Now, starting quarterback Gunnar Kiel is out for Cincinnati, but don't look for them to tone it down. Redshirt freshman Hayden Moore will step in. He replaced Kiel at Memphis last week when Kiel went down, and he set a UC record with 557 yards passing. Perhaps an even bigger potential injury, UC running back Mike Boone is questionable. He's our leading rusher from last year, certainly the most explosive back, averaging 9.6 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns. Keep an eye on that injury status. Tommy Tuberville's teams are 1-5 straight up against Power 5 opponents. 5 straight losses, though, by 15 or more. And also the $86 million Nippert Stadium renovation may have the largest crowd ever for national TV. As far as look ahead, Cincinnati has a bye coming up. Miami does have Florida State next, but of course with this game being on a Thursday, they do have 9 days to prepare for that. So whether or not it will be a true look-ahead game for them, well, there's one way to find out. Visit offshoreinsiders.com, see where the smart money's going. ATS trends, all records, as I said, are ATS. Miami is 3-9 on the road. Hurricanes are 2-7 after allowing more than 280 yards passing in their previous game, and 2-9 after accumulating more than 280 yards in their last game. Cincinnati, though, is 3-8 after getting more than 450 total yards in their last game. 0-6 outside the conference. Some over-under trends. Miami is going under 38-17 outside the conference. Cincinnati is going over 6 straight overall. Remember, it's brought to you by offshoreinsiders.com, the only place you need to go for the winning picks. Offshoreinsiders.com, tracing our roots back to the score phone days of 1980. That's right, offshoreinsiders.com. Nucleus of it, we have been around and giving you winning picks since the 1980s.